The President, the Assistant Director of Social Development, it's a great pleasure to meet you. The Barbados representatives, different line ministries, departments and agencies. It's a great pleasure to be here today. I think this is the fourth time that I've come to Nigeria to discuss this aspect of how we can be able to harmonize policy to deliver not only towards your vision 2020, but at the same time also ensure that the economic recovery and route plan strategy can be operationalized. So it is a win-win for each and everyone. And I think, as the President has said, Mr. James, today we are not actually going to be just talking. We will be putting things in perspective and the strategic way in which we can actually move forward. So the next time we are gathering here, we'll be discussing results and no longer just doing talk about policy, because I think it's been quite a lot of talking about policy that we need to move forward. So as I said, I'm glad to be back to Nigeria and to combine efforts with all of you in ensuring that we can be able to truly prove to the continent that policy harmonization is doable and it is what Africa needs, and more so Nigeria. Because what we know is that Nigeria is Africa's sleeping giant. That's the truth. If you look at the population of the continent, Nigeria is the most populous country in the continent. That means that if Nigeria works, Africa works. If Nigeria leads, Africa follows. That's a fact, whether we like it or not. So I would like, as James has said, to be very brief, but I'd like to put this in perspective so that at least we can really understand why we are here today to talk beyond policy, because the policies that we are discussing do exist. It's not about new policies. And so putting this within the context of the continent, I like to use African proverbs. And in this case, in our discussion here today, a pretty basket does not prevent worries. If you have a very pretty basket, it doesn't prevent worries. A basket doesn't mean that you have food in it. If you look at Nigeria's Vision 2020, we are 1 year away from 2020. And if you look at the economic growth and recovery plan, if you look at the Nigerian flagship cassava bread policy, to the tomato production policy, right down to your elaborate fit-in tariff structure within your energy policy, to the green bond that the Ministry of Environment and the government of Nigeria have floated, right down to the Nigerian nationally determined contributions to implement climate action, including also the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan. These are just a few of the different policies that we have in your country. I'm just naming a few. And why am I doing so? I'm doing so to put in perspective, because this provides a resounding message that Nigeria does not lack in transformational strategies and policies. The policies do exist. There's no absence of policy in Nigeria, and more so across the entire African continent. And so this discussion cannot be discussed from a policy perspective anymore, but it must be how we can turn policy to action. Because these policies can actually catapult Nigeria to accelerate economic, inclusive, and environmental sustainable growth. What we can simply call greatness if all these things are done. But just like a pretty basket, as I started off with the African proverb that a pretty basket does not prevent worries, just like a pretty basket will not alleviate your worries about affording your groceries in the market, the decreeing, the promulgation, and the proclamation of eloquent policies and strategies will not put food on the table unless they are turned into action. And that has been the problem across the African continent, including Nigeria. We have policies. Some people have even jokingly said that Africa is a cemetery for policies. All the good policies in the entire world are found in the African continent. But these policies, unless they are turned into action, will not put food on the table.
And we are